Hello, it's Rachel. Today I'm discussing Tom Swift episode 9. Sorry for skipping last week's episode. Last week was insane, and I just could not find the time to discuss last week's episode. And as the episode was more of like a one shot, and the mission of saving that scientist isn't super relevant to everything with the road back, I didn't feel horrible about skipping it, even though I didn't want to skip another episode after skipping, I think, episode 4. But I mean, I feel like my commentary mostly would have just been me, like, squealing about the Tom and Rowan moments and them being, like, emotionally vulnerable, or briefly talking about the Zenzi and Nathan developments, which I'll get to the latter in this episode review. But yeah, so anyway, on to discussing episode 9. So, wow, we're really jumping right into things with like 5 minutes in. Tom has decided that he's going to invite Susanna over for dinner. He has a tech device that will make an individual relive a moment of their life, and Tom plans to convince Susanna to use it so he can potentially get some info about the road back, but at the very least, he can determine where she's hiding one of the final capsule pieces, because they realize the capsule piece they're trying to find last week has been taken by Susanna. And that is a very dangerous game for him to be playing with a very powerful person. So if it doesn't go the way Tom is hoping, yikes. Um, but yeah, to try to ensure the dinner goes smoothly, Tom invites Justin to come. And Tom's thought process is that since Justin is a lawyer, he can aid Tom in convincing Susanna that it's like a good idea to try this tech. And like, I kind of see where Tom is coming from. I kind of understand Tom's reasoning. But since he doesn't want to let Justin in on all this information about the road back, in my opinion, this just feels like more of a risk than a potential benefit. Like, not that I think Tom should tell Justin these things, because, like, the information's dangerous, and, like, why endanger more people than you have to? But it feels like so much can go wrong with Justin in the dark. But anyway, at the dinner, Susanna is successfully convinced to try out Tom's new tech. But it turns out she agrees primarily to have the chance to talk with Tom alone because she knew that he already knew about her connection to the road back and that she has the capsule piece. And it's just like, yeah, of course, she's the head of a shadowy secret organization, so, like, of course she was ahead of Tom on this. Like, she's insanely wealthy since she's a big donor for Swift Enterprises, so she's probably has more money than the Swifts. And the road back literally came up with a plan to kill Barton, and they almost succeeded. And if they had, they would have made it look like a ship malfunction. Like, why was Tom not more prepared for the possibility that things would go sideways with this plan? Fortunately, I guess, Susanna has an interest in Tom, and she attempts to convince him to join the road back. And I had to roll my eyes at this. Like, she cannot be serious in trying to recruit him to an organization that's literally coded as having white supremacist ties. Like, she cannot be serious. Also, it's hilarious to me that she's advocating for a rollback of technology because, as she says, all tech has a negative cost. But she's like literally a billionaire, which means she's undeniably exploiting people, and she's probably creating insane amounts of waste herself. Like, I just cannot take the quote unquote concerns of a billionaire seriously, so I have to laugh at this bullshit that she's spewing. But as she sees she's not being as effective as she would like, she agrees to let Tom use this tech on her. He successfully learns where she's hiding the capsule piece when he does, so he's ready to go collect it. But before he can leave his mansion, since Justin is still here, he's like, I gotta say goodbye to Justin. So this scene, woof. I feel really bad for Justin because he's completely right that Tom has been stringing him along. Tom has eyes for Rowan and Rowan only. So he's like literally been forgetting that Justin exists unless he needs Justin's help. And Justin deserves better than that, and I'm glad he was trying to stand up for himself. But I have to admit, part of me does agree with Tom saying that Justin needed to be more explicit in communicating what he wanted from Tom. Like, Tom really is playing way too much with him when he has no interest in this developing further. But they leave things there, and Tom says they can have a proper discussion when he gets back about the relationship status. So, as I very briefly mentioned in my preface to the review, it's now time to discuss the whole Nathan Zenzi thing. So last week, Nathan dropped by Zenzi's place and he confessed to being part of the road back, as well as outing Susanna as the head of the organization. And I do have to give him props for going to Zenzi of his own volition. I really didn't expect him to do that. But I didn't like that Zenzi rewarded this confession with sex and more or less agreeing to be his girlfriend. And, like, genuinely, was there anyone in the audience who wanted this? Is there anyone who liked Nathan enough to root for him to win Zenzi's affection? Isaac and Zenzi have much better chemistry and a much deeper connection, so it just felt like a very, very annoying roadblock to postpone them getting together. But after seeing the way this episode played out, the narrative purpose of them hooking up last week makes sense. So Nathan wanted to be at this dinner so he would have the chance to get, I don't remember what they call it in the episode. It's basically like a flash drive that Susanna had and that she had put that blackmail video on. And he wanted access to it so he could delete it because he didn't want Zenzi to find out the truth. And just, what a mess. But since he and Zenzi have now been intimate, of course this reveal is going to cut deeper than if they hadn't, because she let her guard down when he confessed about his connection to the road back. But with her learning about this video about him killing the doctor, this confession is now recontextualized for her. It wasn't him falling on his sword, it was him trying to mitigate the damage of what he'd done. And, I mean, I don't have much to say on that other than I'm glad Zenzi was angry with him, and their relationship is seemingly dead. But we then jump back to Tom talking with Susanna. And Susanna mentions that Barton had given Tom some kind of medicine that is basically the equivalent of conversion therapy. And, holy shit, this was triggering as hell. Since Tom isn't sure if this is true or not, and he has a device that can recover memories. And unfortunately, it seems like Tom did in fact recover a memory that proved that it was. So, this just pisses me off. Like, the writers seem to have been building this season towards a reconciliation between Tom and Barton. But why the hell should I want that when Barton had the mindset that a dead son was better than a gay one? Like, he really willingly endangered Tom because Tom being straight was of the utmost importance to him. Like, I'm going to be so mad if Barton makes it back alive in the finale. Like, holy shit, this is unspeakably evil. And then to make matters worse, after Zenzi sees Tom have somewhat of a breakdown for recovering this memory, she goes to Isaac to propose that they collect the final 2 capsule pieces anyway, even though Tom has told her he wants to wash his hands of this. And rightfully so. Barton never would have prioritized Tom the way Tom has prioritized him with collecting these capsule pieces. And to be honest, Zenzi is probably correct in her assessment that Tom will feel guilty if he gives up now. But hey, guess what? Emotions are fucking complicated when it comes to abuse. And as Tom was the one abused, he's the only one allowed to have a say in what to do when it comes to Barton. So everyone else can fuck off. She can fuck off for being like, hey, we should still save him. No. No. Tom said he wants to be done with this. You're done. You do not go behind Tom's back and continue to try to save Barton. And I swear I have to wrap this up before I just, give myself a rage-induced blackout, because, it's literally Friday. It's been 3 days since I've watched this episode. I'm still furious about it. I have no idea what to expect from the finale. At this point, I'm mainly just hoping Rowan shows up because he's my favorite character. And it's going to be a real bummer if last week's episode was our final time seeing him. But yeah, if anyone has any thoughts on the episode, feel free to comment because I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And I'm always up for chatting more about any of the shows I talk about on here. And I guess I'll see you guys for the finale next week. Bye!